If I were starting my print on demand business from scratch in 2026, there are a lot of things that I would do completely differently. After so many years of starting up print on demand businesses, making a lot of mistakes, failing, and then growing multiple different shops, there are so many things that I've learned along the way. So if I was starting way back at the beginning, these are 10 different things that I wouldn't do again if I were starting from scratch so that you can have the head start that I didn't and actually avoid making a lot of these common beginner mistakes and make a lot more sales and a lot more profit way earlier on in your journey. So let's not waste any time and just jump right into this list. There's some of these things that I guarantee you have not heard of before, and some things that are still recommended to do that I definitely don't think you should be doing in 2026. Things have changed a lot in print on demand, so let's just dive right into it. Now, the very first thing that I would not do as a new seller in print on demand is I would not sell any kind of generic designs. Now, this is a pitfall. This is a mistake that I see so many new sellers making is they start print on demand. They have all the right tools to make this a successful business, except when it comes to picking their niches, they go for things that they see selling really well on Etsy, but they're just way too generic. So this is like a shirt that says good vibes only, or like a registered nurse shirt that's super cute, or just a generic Merry Christmas shirt. Now, those kind of items do sell a ton, and if you are a seller of one of those items, you're probably making tons and tons of profit. But for people just getting started in 2026, those kind of things are just way too saturated. It's hard to kind of break into the market if you're trying to sell generic designs. So what I recommend you do is find niches that are still really high demand but have a lot less competition. And one way that I teach you guys to do this all the time is by my cross niching method that I've come up with, and that's basically taking two really popular, very competitive categories, and by crossing them together, you have a more targeted design. So for example, this would be taking something like the holiday of Christmas, which is so popular, so profitable, and then crossing it with something like someone's career. So for example, that nurse example I gave, both of those on their own are way too hard to sell in, but if you combine them into a Christmas nurse shirt, that's going to be way easier to sell. And you can do this for many different types of categories. So for example, you could take people's hobbies. So something like pickleball, and you could cross it with being a dad. So you're going to make a pickleball dad shirt. Now, this could be an entire video in itself. And in fact, I actually have a full workshop of how to use this method where I give you guys a free guidebook with over 40,000 different niche ideas. So you can sign up for both that workshop and getting that free guide down below in the description. I will send all of that information over to your email to just dive right in, but we have a lot more things to avoid. So we're going to keep moving on with this list. Now, the next thing that I would not do if I were starting over in 2026 is I would not just go with the very first print provider that I see when it comes to picking a manufacturing partner. Now, there are so many different print on demand companies out there, which is super cool, but that doesn't mean that they're all created equally. So there are some print providers that the cost of their items to sell is just so high. But on the other hand, you have some companies that you're like, ooh, I'm going to go with them because their prices are really low, but they don't have the quality behind them. The turnaround time is crazy. You get lots of requests for reprints. So you kind of want somebody that's both in the middle in terms of they have really good pricing, but they've really stood the test of time and they have the evidence to show that they make good quality work. They have really good print providers, so you're not going to get a lot of return requests. And if problems happen, they're going to take care of it. Now, there's a couple really good ones out there. The one that I personally use is Printify. They are just an all-around good manufacturing partner, and they have tons of different print providers that make lots and lots of different products. So you don't just have like t-shirts and mugs, you have really obscure products even sometimes. So they have things like candles, they have jewelry, they have tote bags, they have journals, phone cases, anything you could want for print on demand, Printify has it. And they're just a very good company, and their prices aren't too high. And what I love is you can sell with them for free. So you can link your Etsy shop and get started selling, and you don't have to have a huge initial upfront cost. I will link down below how to get a free account with them. Now, the next big thing that I would not do if I were starting over is something I see so many new new sellers getting stuck in, and it's leaving them not getting their business anywhere. And that is, I would not waste weeks perfecting my shop before actually getting started. So I am definitely a recovering perfectionist. This is a trap that I get myself in a lot, is I want things to be perfect before I even start with them. Now, you're not going to be perfect when you first get started at print on demand. In fact, a lot of times you might not even know exactly what you're doing when you're creating listings, but it's really, really important to just get started and get going. The new sellers that I see actually starting off and making a lot of profit is those who just dive right in. They want to do this. So today they go home and they make 10 new listings and they just upload them to Etsy without even thinking about it. But the other people get trapped and they want their whole shop to be perfect. They want their banner to be perfect before they start. They want a perfect shop description. They want all their listings to look super cohesive, and they're going to watch every YouTube video under the sun before they even make something. And that is not the trap you should get started in, because you're not making any money that way. You're only going to make money in print on demand if you actually get listings out. So it's really important to just dive in, and you're going to learn as you go. You're going to make mistakes and your listings are going to get better. But even some of those early listings that I made that were not perfect, that I made a lot of mistakes on, some of them became my best sellers. So if you just want to get started and you don't want to get into a paralyzed mode where you're not doing anything before you even jump in. Now, the next thing that I would not do if I were starting over is I wouldn't make every design from scratch. Now, this is especially good news for people who aren't necessarily a good illustrator or a good designer. They don't really know the first thing about making a great t-shirt. Is there are so many ways to make a good design without being a good designer. Now, I actually enjoy designing, so that is kind of a trap I get caught in, is I wanted to make everything from scratch and I wanted it all to be perfect. But later on in my business, even though I've been doing this for years now, I actually utilize more templates today than I ever did in the beginning. So what's really cool about a template is it's already like a professional looking design for a t-shirt, but you're just going to change out things like the text, maybe some of the colors, add some new elements, and it's ready to go in a lot less time. So the design suite that I use to both make my designs from scratch and to use their templates is called Kittle. I will link them down below. They're honestly one of the best subscriptions I think you can pay for, because if it helps you even make 1 or 2 more sales a month, it's basically going to pay for itself. And by having the huge catalog of thousands of templates that they have, you're definitely going to be able to get more listings out than you would if you were just making everything from scratch. So highly recommend using templates for designs. It's not a cheat. It's just a shortcut to get more listings up, which is going to turn into more money in your pocket every single month. Now, the next thing that I would not do is I would not post any low quality mockups. I would not post any auto generated mockups. So if you're selling on a place like Printify or Printful, they're going to have auto generated mockups for you, which are pretty good, and you can still use them in your listing, but they are not great for that very first thumbnail photo that everyone is going to see. That is the most important real estate in your listing. So you want to make a huge impact the very first time someone sees yours. So you need to be posting mockups that not only show off your product really good, but also look like real people are loving and using your items. So I actually make all of my mockup photos with the tool called Placeit. You guys have probably heard me talk about them before, but they are a subscription service that has a lot of print on demand tools, but the one that I use the most is their catalog of mockups. So you can basically just pick a mockup photo you want to use and just upload your design and kind of move it around to where it looks like the design you actually created. And within just a couple minutes, you have a mockup photo that's ready to go for Etsy, and it's going to stand out. It's not going to be the same as everybody else is using on Etsy. So it's just a very, very good use of your money if you're going to invest in some kind of mockup tool towards the beginning. That's definitely going to help you make more sales, sometimes even more than having a good design. Now, the next thing that I would not do is I would not skip out on the niche research that you're doing. So guessing what is going to sell rarely is going to work when it comes to print on demand. Now, I think that I have good ideas. I think that you guys have good ideas, but a lot of times the ideas that we think of and that we think are going to sell are just going to sit in our Etsy listings dashboard. They're not ever going to move. And then when we actually put in the work to do some additional research to check if niches are good, that is when we actually start making a lot of sales and a lot of money. So like one thing, for example, I gave you is that niche research guidebook with over 40,000 1,000 different niches that you can get free down below in the description. That's kind of one way of doing some niche research, but there are other tools out there to help you find really good niches too, and not only find them, but validate that they're actually going to be able to help you make sales. So the two that I constantly talk about and that I use are Merch Informer and Sales Samurai. So Merch Informer is kind of based more around data for selling things on Amazon, but I still use it all the time for my Etsy business, because if something is selling well on Amazon, chances are it's going to sell well on Etsy too. But then the tool that's specifically made for Etsy is called Sales Samurai, and that's taking more Etsy data, and it gives you like a lot more metrics to look at for niche research. So both of those are really, really good resources, and I'll try to remember to link a couple videos here that both explain how to use either of those. But that's also a good use of some money, is a subscription to some kind of research tool that's going to help validate if niches are good, so you're not just guessing and making a bunch of designs that always just sit there. Now, the next thing that I would not do is I wouldn't rely on just one product type to really get my shop up and running. So there's a huge misconception that a lot of new sellers ask. They're like, well, can I only have one product type in my Etsy store? And no, you don't have to have just one product type in your Etsy store. In fact, sometimes trying a few different products is really, really good. So t-shirts is definitely a great product type to learn with, to get started with, but sometimes it's easier to compete and start selling more of a niche type product. So for example, maybe you're not having any traction just selling t-shirts, but if you pivot to something like glass cups and you take all your designs, you put them on glass cups, you start only making things for glass cups, you might find that you have a way better chance of actually making sales. Or same thing for like tote bags. Maybe you're not having success selling sweatshirts, but you can pivot to tote bag and fill your store with tote bags. And a lot of those niches that you knew were going to sell well, now they are selling because you're trying a different product type. So definitely experiment with some different product types. But what I do want to warn you against is when you pick a new product type to try, I highly, highly recommend sticking with it for close to like 50 or 100 listings to see if you are going to get some traction. A big mistake I see a lot of new sellers making is they try a new product and they maybe upload two different things, and then they're like, oh, this isn't working. So they pivot to something else and they try two more products of a different product type. Then they try two of something else and one of something else. And after a while, their shop is very disorganized. It's filled with like one or two of 50 different product types. And so none of those are really going to have enough volume to get any traction. So I would say pick like 2 to 3 different product types that you're going to stick with in your store and really give a huge effort to get some listings out in those before you switch to something else. Now, the next thing that I would not do if I were starting over is I would not just copy what is trending on page 1 of Etsy on the first pages on Amazon. A lot of times those designs that are so hot, so popular right now are one, usually very, very saturated. By the time you're seeing them, so many other people have jumped on that trend. And so it's already way too competitive for you to compete in. But two, trends are not what makes a sustainable business. So say something is very popular right now, but it's only going to be popular for a couple of months. Even if you jump on that trend early enough where you do make a decent amount of sales, once that trend dies down, all of those sales go away and you're kind of starting at zero again. So what I have found in my business is the evergreen designs that I am making are what is sustaining and growing this every single month. So I have designs that I created 5 years ago that are still making sales today because they are evergreen designs, which just means they're things that never go out of style. So for example, if you made a shirt that was for the election in 2024, that is something that could only sell right for a few months at that specific time. But now that that has passed, even if it was a bestseller, it's not selling anymore. But if you had instead made a shirt that was based on like being a dad or a dad who loves pickleball, those things, they don't go out of style. That's still going to be able to sell this year. It's going to be able to sell next year. So you want to focus on really filling your shop with evergreen designs. Every once in a while, if you do want to try something that's more trendy, go for it, but just don't focus all your energy on that. Now, the next thing that I would not do is is I would not expect instant results from my print on demand business. So print on demand, it is so profitable. I have built a full-time business selling print on demand items, but this did not happen overnight. The first month I did not make thousands and thousands of dollars. In fact, I actually have a full video that I will link for you guys here that reveals exactly how much I made in my first month of print on demand. So the amount might actually surprise you. I highly recommend watching that. But print on demand is a business that kind of builds upon itself. So if you make $100 this month, that's not life-changing money. But say you add another 100 to that next month, that's $200 you're now making. So a year from now, maybe you're making a couple thousand of dollars. And if you keep just slowly adding on that amount of money, eventually it's a decent amount of change that you're making every single month. Now, you do hear of overnight success stories, and my print on demand business did grow really fast, but I still wouldn't really call it an overnight success. Most of the time, people are slowly adding bestseller after good seller after another bestseller, and slowly those things are adding up to make a huge amount of income every single month. So if you're just making a couple sales here and there, don't get discouraged, because those are still going to sell in the future, and then you're going to keep adding more and more designs to your catalog. That's just going to keep expanding the amount of products that are selling every single month. Now, the next thing that I would not do if I were starting over from scratch is I would not try to do this all alone. I think it's very tempting to just try to figure everything out yourself, but there's a ton of resources out there that's going to help kind of teach you how to do this print on demand thing and walk you through step by step. Now, I have tons of video resources on this YouTube channel that are perfect for you guys if you are just getting started, and I do highly want to recommend signing up for that niche research workshop down below. It lets me go into a lot more depth than I'm able to on a YouTube video like this. It's about an hour long, and it's going to walk you through the process step by step of finding a good niche, doing that research, making a design, and actually how you get that onto a product. So it's a great workshop. So many people love it. They rave about it. I can't believe that it's free. Highly recommend taking a look at that there, but also just checking out my YouTube channel for other helpful tutorials and guides. And if you have questions about things, don't try to just figure it out and make it up as you go. There are lots of other people who have done this, who have experience, and they're sharing their knowledge of how to get better. So make sure you're taking help along the way and learning as you go, but don't let that keep you from actually just jumping in and getting started either. Now, if you are ready to get going and just want to get your Etsy shop set up, I highly recommend this video next, where I'm going to take you through the process step by step of actually creating your Etsy account, creating your Printify, and putting those together so you can create your very first listing as soon as today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.